All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are reviewing the Gotrax Tundra. Now this bike, as you can see, is huge. It's a massive beast. There's a lot to get into. I believe this is going to be a fun one, so let's get into it. The Gotrax Tundra comes to you as a Class 3 e-bike, which means we should be able to go up to 28 miles an hour. Now, I don't know if we can do that via the throttle here on our left-hand side, but we should be able to do it with this torque sensor down below and our 5 levels of pedal assist. This bike weighs 78 pounds, but has a payload capacity of 300 pounds. Currently, the Tundra sells for $15.99. If I have any discount codes or anything like that, I'll leave it in the links down in the description. Now, the Tundra comes in 2 different versions. I have a step-over version right here, and it also comes in a step-through. If you're interested in the step-through, well, the average rider height should be between 4'11" to 6'1". And if you are getting the step-over version right here, well, the average height for that should be 5'3" to 6'4". And the reason I'm saying should be is because I can't find any rider heights on any of their bikes when it comes to the website or when I'm looking online. So what I did was I took the size of this bike, compared it to my Abington Adventure, and they seem to be about the same size and same capacity. So my average height is a guess. Now, whether you get the step over or the step through version, it comes in 2 colors. You get this silver here, or you can get it in olive green. Gotrax says that the Tundra should be able to go up to 75 miles with a single battery charge. Now, that is if you are a very light rider, riding in low winds on level ground with probably the lowest pedal assist level. Today, I'm going to test it out in its worst case scenario. I'm going to ride it in pedal assist number 5. We're going to go as fast as we can for as long as we can. The Tundra has a 48-volt, 750-watt Bafang brushless rear hub motor. It also has a peak power of 1,000 watts. It has a Shimano 7-speed transmission with a Shimano tourney derailleur and the standard Shimano 7-speed thumb shifter. For stopping power, you have the Nut 2-piston hydraulic brake system with 180mm rotors. The front forks are branded by Gotrax. They are hydraulic. They have 80mm of travel. You can add preload to it and you can lock it out. The Tundra has massive 26 by 4-inch tires. They're made by Chow Yang. They have an aggressive mountain bike pattern on them and they are puncture resistant. When it comes to the battery, it has a 48-volt, 20 amp hours with 960 watt hours of power. The bike and the battery are UL certified. It also comes with a 3 amp charger, which means you're going to be able to charge this bike up between about 6 to 7 hours. It also comes with 2 keys. You can leave the battery in the bike. Here's a charging port right here, or you can take it out by using this key. You put the key in, you pop it, turn it. There's a little lever here. You're going to turn it like that and pull the battery out. Now you will have to turn the tire a little bit, and the battery comes right out. To put it back in, well, you're just going to do the same thing, click it into place, lock it up, and you're good to go. Additional features include metal fenders, aluminum pedals, you have this quick release seat post right here, and a Gotrax branded seat. Let's talk size and fit. Now, when it comes to your lowest position, there are no lines on the post here, so you're just going to have to take it down as low as it'll go, and that's it right there. That's for your shortest rider. And then when you pull it up, it does have a line saying you can't pull it out any farther than that. We'll put it right there. And that right there shows you what your highest seat post position can be. Now, although this doesn't have an adjustable stem here on the front, you can move the handlebars forward and back to kind of help you with that riding comfort. Cockpit operations. On your left-hand side, you have a double locking grip. It has a pretty good feeling rubber. I think these grips are going to do just fine. This is your front brake lever right here. This is your throttle, and this is your controller on how you operate the bike. To turn the bike on, you're just going to hit this button down here, which will bring up your display. As you can see, it's a nice color display. You have a battery bar indicator here, and it tells you your percentage. Right here tells you your speedometer, your different pedal assist levels that you're in, your trip mileage, and your overall odometer mileage. You can use the up button to take you up through your different levels of pedal assist, and your down button takes you all the way back down to 0. Once you are in 0, if you need to use the walk feature, well, we're just going to hold that 0 button down, and it turns on the walk feature. To make it stop, just take your finger off. From here, you can jump into the menu by pushing these 2 buttons at the same time. That's going to take you into this area here where you can control your wheel diameter settings, your speed limit settings. Let's go ahead and hop into that. To do that, you're just going to hit that button down there. It's going to take you into there. Right now, max speed is 27.9. What is the lowest? So we can take it all the way down to where your max speed is only 10.5 miles an hour, which is a nice feature. So we're going to move it back up to the 27.9 because I like to go fast. Let's go ahead and bounce that back in. Backlight settings. I wonder if there's an auto setting. Is there? No, 2, 3. So it has 3 different settings. We're going to leave it on number 3. We're going to move on. Unit setting. This is where you make sure it's in mile or kilometer. We want to stay in mile. Go from there. Now, password modified. This is where you can set up a password for your bike. And that means that anytime you want to turn it on and ride it someplace as a safety and theft protection, you have to put in this code. To set up the code, you're just going to use this arrow button to bounce around to the different numbers until you put in the code that you want. We're just going to do 4 zeros, 0, 0, 0. And then from there, hold that button down. There, it takes us back up to there. And from here, we can decide whether we want to turn it on or turn it off. And then right here, you have your about information, which when you just put it in there, it just gives you information about the bike. Hold that power button again, and it takes you out. We're going to hold it one more time, and it's going to take it back to the main display. If you hold the up button, well, that's going to turn on your headlight and your dual tail light system. This is what the taillights look like when the headlight is turned on, and then when you hit the brake lever, they get brighter. The taillights go away when the headlight gets turned off, but the brake lights still work. To turn it off, you're just going to hold that up button again until it turns the light off. On the side of the display, you'll find a USB-C-A port right there. I'm going to throw her on the charger here real quick and just finish her up all the way up to 100%. Then we're going to take her out on the streets of Chicago to see how she does. Figured I'd go ahead and start us out with riding at pedal assist 0, which means we're not getting any assistance to the bike. We are in gear 3. We're cruising about 12 miles an hour, and we're riding the bike pretty easy. As always, I have Strava going so that we can check not only the mileage here on the bike, but we'll get the mileage on Strava as well. Actually, let's see if we can reset the trip. I wonder if it's push and up that resets the trip. Ooh, this gives us statistics. It did reset the trip. So we're going to start off with our trip reset. It's going to be a little bit off from Strava. Let me go ahead and see how far it shows that we've done with Strava so far. We'll keep that in mind. Strava shows that we've gone 1.69 miles right now, so we'll have to remember that, and we'll check it to see how well the display works on the bike. I figured we would go ahead and check out the speedometer since we were talking about the display, and let's see how accurate that it is. I'm just cruising. Looks like it's about, it seems like it wants to be the same. There we go. Yeah. So the display and the speedometer are the same. Let's go ahead and do the throttle test. We have it in pedal assist number 5. Actually, let's drop it down into pedal assist number 1. I want to see if it controls how fast the bike goes via throttle. Let's go ahead and give that a shot and see what happens. Oh, I can tell it is not dictated by your pedal assist level. We're shooting up all the way to 20 miles an hour. All right, so it looks like it's going to hold it right at 20 if you're just wanting to use throttle only. Let's go ahead and test out the pedal assist levels. We're in pedal assist level 1. It is called Eco, and we're just going to cruise along. Ooh, the pedal assist kicks off almost immediately. And we're going to cruise about 12 miles an hour just in pedal assist 1. Let's go ahead and go to 2. See how that feels. We're cruising about 17 miles an hour comfortably. Let's go for 3. On pedal assist level 3, which is called their normal mode, we're cruising about 20 miles an hour. I'm going to have to turn around here in a second. We'll check out 4 and 5. Now I have it in pedal assist number 4. Let's see what that feels like. Pedal assist level 4 will have you comfortably cruising at 24 miles an hour. Let's go for 5. Number 5, we're cruising at 28 miles an hour, between 27 and 28. There is zero ghost pedaling with this bike, which there shouldn't be because it does have a torque sensor. But I feel like this bike also operates as if it has a cadence sensor. And here's what I mean. You definitely feel the torque part of it, but I have slowed my cadence down and it is still holding the same speed. And that is the interaction of a cadence sensor. But I've looked at this bike. I know what a torque sensor looks like, and that's what this bike has. And you feel the torque part when you're heading down the road. Although, let's see if I cut it down into, like, let's say pedal assist level 3. On any other torque sensor bike, I should be able to crank this thing up to 28 miles an hour. So let's see if it'll do it. No. So it's stopping me about 23 miles an hour. Yeah, so this is very odd. It says torque sensor, it looks like a torque sensor. But guys, it acts like a cadence sensor. So my initial thoughts on this bike, I can tell, I feel like the seat's gonna be pretty comfortable, and that's good. For some reason, the handlebars feel shorter than the bikes that I've been riding, but I've also been riding a lot of mountain bikes lately, and those have wider bars. But this bike is secure enough that you can ride it hands-free. You see me, I was watching that car. Let's do the off-road test here. Okay, the only thing I'm hearing is, ooh, let's go. Oh, it's this kickstand. Yeah, baby. Oh, this bike is heavy. But we crossed through that, no issues at all. A little noise from the kickstand, but the bike felt solid. It is time for the hill climb. This first round we are doing throttle only. So here we go, let's see how she does. Kind of a slow takeoff, but we should have enough Newton meters of torque to make it up this hill, and we do. I mean, I can already tell that it's not going to be a problem at all making it to the top of this thing. Yeah, no problem. No problem at all. Now we're going to use pedal assist. I'm going to put it all the way up into pedal assist number 5. Let's head up the hill. Shouldn't be an issue. Let's go. Oh, yeah. See, now it's effortless. We're just heading up. No problem. We're heading up pretty quick, too. We're at like 12 miles coming up on this thing. Yeah, nice. Yeah, she's a climber. You know, we've had a ton of rain here in Chicago, and it's either been rainy or it's been super cold. A lot of times it's been both. And so when you get days like this, it's just beautiful. It's just nice to ride around. You got people out just wandering, enjoying the day. The same as me. As you guys can see, the 606 is staying pretty busy right now with all these people out. So we have ourselves in pedal assist level 3. We're cruising about 16 miles an hour. And then what we'll do is we're going to head out to Lakeshore Trail. And that's where we're going to kick up the speed and try to get some serious distance on this bike. We have made it to Lakeshore Drive. It is getting hot out of here. I had to take my jacket off, which is nice. And now we're going to go ahead and do the sand test. As you can see, some of the sand up here is a little bit wet, so that's going to be packed in. So this bike should do just fine as we head out into the sand. Let's see how this big fat tire girl does. Let's go. Just using throttle right now. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Yeah. So not only will this bike get you to the beach, but it'll get you through the beach. Ooh, this stuff's gonna be seriously. Oh, let's pedal, 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 pedal. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, this bike's gonna do just fine on the beach. Nice. I do have to say that because of how this bike seems to be a little bit shorter when it comes to the other bikes that I've reviewed like this, so because of that, you sit more in an upright position, making it very comfortable to ride. For a big bike, when you start going, she doesn't feel big at all. And I also noticed that there is a handle on the bottom of the seat that you can grab to help move this bike whenever you want to turn it around or whatever. That was a feature I didn't notice at first, but I've been using it, and it has come in handy. Ooh, that lake effect. It is cold over here, but we are getting it done. All right, guys, I figured I would go ahead and do a mileage check. Now, the battery here is showing that we're at 74% battery power, and the display shows we're at 11.6 miles. Now, Strava says that we're at 12.76 miles, meaning that this display and Strava are actually matching up. Because if you remember, I started this trip meter a little bit after Strava had already started. So I believe that the display and the trip meter is going to be correct when it comes to this bike. Now, let's go ahead. Continue enjoying the day. All right, guys, it is time to do the brake test. We're going to do it at throttle, going 20 miles an hour first, to see how quick she'll stop with that. And then we'll do the full speed at 28. Ooh, she stops pretty quick. 18 feet. Awesome. And this is brake test number 2 at 20 miles an hour. Let's see how she does. Ha ha ha. 18 feet. So that's 18 feet twice at 20 miles an hour. Let's go ahead and see what she does at 28. We are way far away. I want to make sure, because I'm going to be fighting wind either one way or the other. Let's go, baby. Oh, I had a feeling we were going to pass 30 feet. 37 feet. Round 2 at 28 miles an hour. 36 feet. These brakes feel good when they stop. Yeah, good job. Good job, Gotrax. Looks like our battery's starting to get low. We'll go ahead, we're gonna pull over here and do a mileage check and see what's going on. The battery is showing that we're at 45%. The meter's saying that we've gone 19.1 miles. Strava showing that we're at 19.96. So yeah, we're going to turn around. I think I'm at least 8 miles from the house, and I know that bikes with this about battery size and this size normally runs out about 30 miles. So we're going to go ahead and head back, and that way we'll see how close I get to home before I end up having to pedal this bad boy because it doesn't have any power. I saw a guy pass me going that way, which kind of tells me that maybe this goes for a ways. So let's go ahead and see. I haven't done this little area here, so I don't know how long it's going to go. Well, this is definitely the walkway and not the bike trail. I'm just kind of curious to see how far it'll go now. Look at that beautiful boat. Every time I do this and I see this skyline, I tell you what, it's so beautiful. This is one of the reasons why people love Chicago. Look at that skyline. Yeah, this has to be a cadence sensor. I'm not putting any pressure on these pedals, and we're maintaining 27.8 miles an hour. If it's a torque sensor, it's the craziest torque sensor I've ever used. Looks like I'm at 32% battery power. We're still in pedal assist 5, still moving along. Once we get closer, I'll probably have to kick it down into another level. I went ahead and kicked it down. We are burning through battery pretty quick. We're at 21% right now, and I am super far from home. So we're gonna just cruise and take our time and make it back because I do not want to pedal this bike for miles and miles without battery power. Actually, it shows that we've already gone like 26 miles. So I'm definitely cutting down the power. I just put it into number 2. And now I'm really, really concerned. This area right here is always a wind tunnel, and it is today. With this kind of battery level, I do not want to be pushing against the wind, but here we are. One thing I have to say is that looking at this display, they could have definitely made the battery indicator and this percentage level bigger because I squint down to see it. Right now it's showing we're at 28%. But it's kind of hard for me to see, although I have to wear glasses when I do computer work. It's not anything against the display. Maybe it's just my eyeballs. The closer we get to the house, the higher the pedal assist levels I'm going to be putting on. Right now we're on pedal assist number 3. Still shows we have 28% battery power. This is one of those things that's cool about Chicago. Right here, as you can see in the alleyway, it is showing this art that somebody put in. I mean, that is awesome. That's what I love about this city. People are so artistic and creative, and they just do cool stuff all over the city. This is where these fat tires come into play and this front suspension. This area of the road on my track back is always really rough. We're coming up to it right here. And this is where the fat tires come into play, and they just chew all that up. I mean, you're still going to bounce around, but it does help support it and make it a little bit more cushiony. I'm also not one of those guys that like fill the tires all the way up to the max. My happy place is about 20 PSI. which in turn also affects the mileage that I get on these reviews. But when I'm on a bike for a long time, I'd rather go for comfort than for distance, because these are real world reviews, and this is how I would have the bike. Like, this is how I'd have the bike set up. So this is what my average mileage or whatever would be, or my average normal experience with this bike would be. All right, we are pulling up onto the 606, which means I am 3.3 miles from the house. We have put it into pedal assist number 5. And if we don't have a bunch of people on this trail, well, we do. So we're not going to be screaming down the trail, but we will be going a pretty good pace. Don't worry, guys. I'll be staying far enough away. The GoPro is going to make it look like they're closer than they are. Yeah, when it comes, look, they have all this room. They really do need to go ahead and make this battery indicator level bigger, because really this is the first display that I have to squint and really try to see what the battery level is. And it looks like they have plenty of room to make it bigger. For some people, 15 miles an hour is like plenty of speed, and they're just cruising along. And this bike would go for an incredibly long time at that speed. I mean, I'm only in pedal assist number 2. But for this review, well, you know, the whole goal is to give it its worst case scenario. And in that way, you would know what it does at its worst. So you would feel confident if you were riding it in any slower than what I have been during this review. This battery's at 19%. Let's go ahead and see if you know, we still have throttle. We still have throttle, and it feels like it's going to take us up to that 20 miles an hour, and it does. Although we do have a hill right here. Oh yeah, we're climbing right up this hill. Nice. So even when the battery gets below 20%, you're still going to have throttle, and it does keep you at 20 miles an hour. You know what? We still have 16% battery power. I don't know what's going on over here, but we have a couple of helicopters, so that's never a good thing when a couple of helicopters are hovering overhead. But with 16% battery power, we're heading back onto the 606, and we're going to get some more mileage out of this bike. With the battery being so low, all I'm doing is going like a mile out and then a mile back, and a mile out and a mile back. Now, besides the battery indicator being too small, I like the rest of this display. I think it looks pretty cool. I like how you have the yellow, which tells you what pedal assist level you're in, and then you have the green over here showing you the amount of power that you're displaying. We are in single-digit battery power now. It shows that we have 6% on the battery. We're still doing throttle, and we're still doing 20 miles an hour. This is a hill right here, so this will probably kill it right here. Come on. Right now, it is showing that we are at 0% battery power, but I'm just using throttle only, and it's still taking me up to, it's going to take me up to 20 miles an hour. All right, we're going to try to throttle it home. See if we make it. Oh, see, there it is. It just kicked off. All right, let me pull over. I'm going to go ahead and check the distance, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, guys, I made it back, and I have to tell you what, this bike went farther than what I thought it would originally. Strava shows that we went 33.54 miles until the battery just kind of gave out and everything shut off. Now, one of the impressive things about this was this bike was still doing 20 miles an hour on throttle at 0% battery power all the way until the bike went dead. When it came to the riding position of this bike, it's excellent, because you're just sitting up and down, and it makes it super easy to control and handle. The seat's good, the grips are good, and I would say that there's not really anything that I would change with this bike. Like, I don't have to change out the seat, I don't have to change out and put an adjustable stem on this. The bike just rode very well. Oh yeah, there is one thing that I would change, and that would be how big the battery indicator is on this display. And when it came to the display in direct sunlight, well, I could see everything except for the percentage on this battery. Now, if you are interested in the Gotrax Tundra, I'm going to go ahead and throw a link down in the description. If I have any discount codes or anything like that, that'll be down there as well. Also, if you noticed, I put a couple of accessories on this bike, like a Seco lights because it blinks and it flashes, and my half knee bar and mirror. Of course, with every review and every bike that I have, I put flat out in the tires, and that's why you've never seen me have a flat tire on any of my reviews. So that's it. That's my review on the Gotrax Tundra. It did very well. It's a very solid bike, and I'm extremely happy with it. So I want to thank you for watching. And until I see you again, enjoy the ride.